Hello everyone and welcome back to Senior Cat Wellness. Today we'll be talking about 17 common food ingredients that cats should absolutely 100% avoid. Some of these might be in your kitchen right at this moment. And believe me, your curious cat might already be trying to sneak a bite of one of these items. Now, this is certainly not a complete list. Some 17 could vary a bit with respect to importance, and certainly this list can go well beyond that number 17, so just keep that in mind as you view. Let's jump right in. First up, let's start things off with onions. They are in everything, soups and sauces and many of your leftovers. But for cats, onions are bad news. Whether we're talking raw, cooked, powdered, dry, onions can damage your cat's red blood cells and lead to a dangerous condition called anemia. Even onion powder in baby food or seasoning mixes can cause some serious problems, perhaps over time. Right behind that, next up, it's garlic. Garlic is actually one of the more toxic things that a cat can consume, actually a bit more toxic by comparison than onions. Just a small amount can cause some serious issues: vomiting, lethargy, elevated heart rate, and the aforementioned anemia. Garlic bread, pasta sauce, and even some pet treats. Some of those snacks could include garlic, so be sure to always read those labels. Next up, and this is sort of more of an obvious one, and that is chocolate. You've probably heard this one many times before. Chocolate is very much a no-go for both dogs and cats. It contains theobromine and caffeine, which can cause everything from vomiting and diarrhea to some heart problems and even seizures. The darker the chocolate, the more dangerous it is. Alcohol, that's another one that would seem very obvious, but some people, well, I don't know, they could give their cat a little bit of their wine or their beer almost as a joke, but the truth is even a tiny amount of alcohol can cause liver failure, coma, death. This is obviously a no-go. It is not safe under any circumstance. Caffeine, that's up next, and that's another stimulant that your pet should never go near and should always avoid. Coffee, tea, and soda, and of course energy drinks. These can make your pet extremely anxious and hyper, even lead to tremors and excessive and rapid breathing. Even caffeine pills or any sort of workout powders that you could be using that perhaps are lying around your kitchen or on that kitchen counter, be sure they are sealed, because those can be incredibly hazardous if your cat were to get near them and have a lick at them or even a bite of any sort of these substances that contain caffeine. Next up, let's talk about raisins, and let's talk about some grapes. We're not sure exactly why in terms of the big picture details, but these fruits can cause sudden kidney failure in some cats, especially senior cats. Just a few raisins or grapes could lead to vomiting, nausea, lethargy, a lot of the similar side effects as I've mentioned thus far with other ingredients and other items. Grapes and raisins can cause long-term damage as well. So it's not just the short term, it's for the long term. It's best to keep grapes and raisins locked away in a cabinet, or in a case of grapes, put them in your refrigerator. Trail mix, that's another one. Do not leave it unattended on that kitchen counter. Xylitol is up next. Now, many moons ago, I'm riffing right now off the top of my head to try to remember. It had to be a couple of years ago. One of the viewers here on the channel had messaged me, and we had spoken privately about how he lost a cat of his due to what he believed was xylitol poisoning, due possibly, if memory serves, the consumption of gum, chewing gum, the remnants of the gum left in the wrapper. So xylitol is up next, and xylitol is a sugar substitute that is quite common. It's often found here again, like I mentioned, in gum, sugar-free gum specifically, peanut butter, various types of candy and baked goods. Now, while cats are not usually drawn to sweets, if something like a wrapper is left out, well, visually, they're going to see it, they're going to check it out, and if they lick it, if they lick the remnants within the wrapper of the sugar-free gum, it can lead to bad things, and that includes death, unfortunately. So xylitol, keep it away from your cat as much as possible. Now, raw eggs, that's up next, and that might seem healthy in some respects compared to the other items listed, but especially if you're trying out maybe a raw diet for your cat, but raw eggs can pose two specific dangers. Salmonella bacteria, and hopefully I'm pronouncing this next one right. It's a protein called avidin. It can interfere with your cat's ability to absorb biotin, which is a B vitamin. It can lead to coat and skin issues over the course of time. Next up, let's talk a moment about cooked bones. Now, while this could seem like a fun treat, perhaps even a a chew toy temporarily, this is extremely dangerous. When bones are cooked, they become brittle and they can easily splinter and almost take the form of a needle. And of course, this can cause choking or worse, punctures to your cat's mouth and gums, tongue, even punctures, if digested, in your cat's digestive tract. So if you're offering bones up at all, make sure they are very raw and soft, and always be there when they consume them. Be a great supervisor to make sure that your cat is not in danger. Next up, let's talk about dairy. Most adult cats, they are lactose intolerant. This means that milk and cheese and ice cream, while milk especially can seem like a classic when it comes to something you would give a cat, milk can cause bloating and gas and diarrhea. If your cat really wants a lick of milk, go with a lactose-free version that's made specifically for pets. Now let's talk about fat. Fat trimmings from your steak or your chicken may seem like a bit of a generous offering from the table, but these trimmings can be incredibly harmful. Too much fat, especially cooked fat, can lead potentially to pancreatitis, very painful and potentially life-threatening inflammation of the pancreas. Plus, it's right there in the name, fat trimmings. This could easily be an unfortunate way for your cat to pack on the pounds. Next up, let's talk about tuna. A lot of cats really enjoy tuna, and it's fine for sort of a one-off every once in a while, but feeding tuna regularly, as in a regular meal, canned tuna, that's not meant for cats, that's meant for humans. And in cats, it can cause nutritional deficiencies. Tuna lacks key nutrients like vitamin E and taurine, and in large quantities, tuna can even lead to mercury poisoning. Now let's talk dog food. That's another no-go. It might seem harmless for your cat to sneak a few bites of dog food, especially if you're out of wet cat food or even dry cat food, but dog food is formulated specifically for dogs. Here again, like tuna, it lacks taurine. It also lacks vitamin A and other nutrients that your feline needs to stay healthy. Long-term feeding of dog food can cause very serious problems for cats. Now, let's talk about a little bit of a wild card, and it's yeast dough. If you're baking bread and your cat nibbles on unbaked dough, this could lead to a medical emergency. The dough continues to rise in your cat's stomach, which can potentially cause bloating and dangerous alcohol production from the fermenting of yeast. So any of those baked goods, if you've got dough on the kitchen counter, be very mindful of not only where the dough is, but where your cat is while you are baking. Let's talk about nuts now. Macadamia nuts are most known for being toxic to dogs, but there is some evidence that they can cause serious problems in cats as well. Symptoms including weakness and tremors and vomiting. Since many baked goods include macadamia nuts, here again, similar to chocolate in this regard, stay away. Keep your cat away from those nuts and the chocolate. And once more, yeast if you are baking bread in your kitchen. And finally, let's talk a little bit about salt. A little sodium, well, that's okay, but too much can lead to salt poisoning. Symptoms, like so many symptoms on this list today, vomiting, diarrhea, tremors, even some seizures. Any table scraps, chips, salted meats, pretzels, keep those away from your cat, even if they're sitting there begging. Salt should always be a no-go, especially when it comes to salt that is found on food that is meant for human consumption. So there you have it. We've got 17 common foods and ingredients that cats should absolutely avoid. Some are very toxic, others are just harmful over the course of time, especially if they are served up on the regular. But either way, it's very important to stay informed and stay vigilant. Monitor your cat and monitor what you're cooking, and when you're cooking it, pay close attention on where your cat is relative to the home environment and certainly relative to that kitchen and kitchen counter. Cats are obligate carnivores, which means their bodies are designed to eat meat, not really much else. All that other stuff, that's really for us. If you think your cat's getting tired of their daily routine of meat, they are not. Perhaps you could serve up different kinds of cat food, different kinds of meats, but make sure that everything that you are serving them is meant for feline consumption and not of the human variety. If you are ever unsure about something your cat is about to consume, has consumed, never wait. Be on guard and call your vet if you notice any symptoms that start to crop up, like the symptoms that I have listed here today. As I always say, it is so much better to be safe than sorry. To the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness, what are your personal thoughts on this topic from top to bottom? Any personal stories to share? Is there anything for the engagement of the feline community that you would like to add to this list? I listed 17. The list, it could go well into the 50s. I mean, we could be here all day with this list, unfortunately. So if there's anything that you would like to add that I didn't cover, please, that comment section is all yours. As always, I believe in strength in numbers within the feline community. So if you have anything of value that can help the community, by all means, add that in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video and found it very informative, I encourage you to please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you later.